Well, good morning. Welcome back to the Broadcast Retirement Network. I'm Jeff Snyder. This is BRN AM for Friday, June 24th, 2022. And our top story today, over 47 million people are predicted to travel for Independence Day. Joining me now to discuss this and a lot more is Andrew Gross of AAA. Andrew, so great to see you again. Thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Always a pleasure to join you, Jeffrey.
And it's nice to see you in the office. I mean, I love when you remoted in from your home, but it's nice. I'm sure it's nice to be with your AAA colleagues.
It's a nice change of pace.
There we go.
Hybrid work at its finest.
Absolutely. Well, that's what that's the future, I guess. Andrew, let's talk about hitting the road. 4th of July is coming up, and almost 48 million Americans are expected to travel this 4th of July, this Independence Day. What do you have to say on that?
Well, it's more than last year, that's for sure. Last year was about 46 million people, so this is 2 million more. And we're getting close to pre-pandemic levels. The peak year for all travel for us was 2019. And then the pandemic kind of crushed travel. So we're slowly getting back to those pre-pandemic levels, but we're not quite there yet.
In terms of the method of travel, is it planes, trains, automobiles, bicycles, skateboards? How are people planning to travel this year?
Well, one noticeable thing this year is that we will set a record for the number of people who are going to go by car. So of the 48 million people who are going to go away for the 5-day 4th of July travel period, 42 million are going to go by car. We've never had a number that high before, which is surprising. Certainly surprised us, given how high these gas prices are. Now, we're not quite sure why this is. There could be a lot of things at play. Maybe people are altering where they're going for vacation. They may be opting more for like what I've heard someone call nearcations. So they want to go away, but they're not going quite as far. So it might be more advantageous just to go by car. And also people have had 6 months to sort of watch the airline industry and see what's been going on with the, staffing issues and delays and cancellations due to bad weather. And they may be figuring, you know what, I think I'm going to go by car this year.
Yeah, it makes sense, especially if you're going to do one of these 50 miles or less trips. I mean, I don't see it getting on a plane, maybe a train, but I don't see you getting on a plane to do that. That would just doesn't make any sense, at least in my head, but maybe someone.
Well, considerably more people are going to go by bus and by train and even some cruises this year than went last year. I think last year it was like 900,000 people went by one of those alternate types of travel for 4th of July. And this year it's going to be close to 2.5 million. So that's considerably more people this year.
Andrew, you mentioned gas prices. Where is AAA? I know you guys monitor the national gas average. Is it coming down? I know $5 was that barrier, that ceiling, I guess, and we've went through that. How are we doing?
It was, we hit 501, the national average hit 501. Now remember, some states wish they were paying $5, like California, yeah. But the national average did hit 501 about 9 days ago. And since then, it's been coming down every single day. And we're down to 495 now, which is, not exactly reason to celebrate, but it's been dropping, which is a little bit of a relief for drivers.
Andrew, do you remember, I don't know, it seems like a year ago, we were paying less than $2. And this has really got to eat into the budgets of many Americans. And by the way, their travel budgets. I mean, maybe you don't eat one meal to hit the road.
Well, that really surprises us, that the sheer number of people who are opting to travel by car for this 4th of July. But then you start looking at the costs of everything. Airfares are more expensive. Hotels are more expensive. The only thing that we've seen actually less this year than last year is rental cars. The great rental car crunch of last year has sort of, for the most part, dissipated. So rental car prices are a lot better this year than they were last year. But everything else is more expensive. And yet people, particularly gas, but people have decided, you know what? I still need to get away. So that could be a little bit of sort of the psychology of COVID coming into play. People were kind of locked down for 2 years, and the urge to get out, the urge to see family, the urge to have an experience is outweighing, costs overall.
Yeah, and that mental health. Let's not underestimate the importance of mental health, especially given some of the circumstances that have affected the country. Andrew, last question before we go to break, because I want to talk about tips on the break. I know you and AAA have some tips, but triptych volume. Triptych is my mother loves triptychs through AAA. That is a very popular service. I would imagine the volume there has been going up.
Well, yeah. Well, when people book through us and they take advantage of triptychs, and a lot of folks remember the classic triptych where you kind of flip through on your route and everything was a little sort of highlighted with a marker for you. Those are all online now. So you can literally have your triptych on your phone, and it operates the same way. And it also, if you're looking at the map and on the AAA app, it will show you gas station prices along the way. And you will be really surprised at the disparity of gasoline prices. Sometimes just for some grim kicks, I will look at what gas stations are charging around me, and it can be a 40 to 50 cent range. So you can actually save a fair amount of money by paying attention to those gas prices on your app, on your AAA app.
Yeah, well, that's a perfect segue, Andrew, because when we come back, we'll talk about planning ahead. I think you're going to need to do that, and we're going to talk about it right after this break. You're going to want to stay tuned right here on BRN AM. Imagine a new television network that will make you richer, healthier, and in control of your financial future. This network is for the policewoman in Nashville, Tennessee, the baker in Dubuque, Iowa, the teacher in Lexington, Kentucky. We want to make the idea of savings and retirement culturally relevant. But what do you see as a defining issue of the midterms, especially for the smaller businesses? I mean, they are the lifeblood of the American economy. Featuring exclusive interviews, current affairs, and docuseries. 33 years old, you retired early.
The philosophy is money only matters if it helps you live a life that you love.
But you got to start thinking about retirement as soon as you get in.
The Broadcast Retirement Network will drive very high engagement with premium partnerships. So this isn't retirement and savings for your parents or grandparents. This is for all Americans. And we're going to change the way you think about money. Welcome to the next frontier of retirement and savings. This is BRN, the Broadcast Retirement Network.
Hopefully now you're interested in investing in stocks, which we at the Motley Fool believe is the single best way for folks like you and me to gain what could be truly life-changing wealth. That's why today we've got a special offer for new members. Since the service started, our average stock pick has returned over 600%, and that's over 4 times the return of the S&P 500. Don't regret not taking action right now. Just enter your email to get started.
Welcome back. We're talking this morning to Andrew Gross of AAA, talking about the July 4th Independence Day holiday. Andrew, thanks so much for sticking with us this morning.
My pleasure.
All right, let's talk about some tips and tricks before you head out and while you head out on the road. You've got to really plan, Andrew, for plan A, B, C, D. Does it go all through the letters of the alphabet?
Well, there are 3 that we think are very important. It's BET, bet, battery, engine, and tires. And you may ask, what else is left? Well, there's a lot else left, but those are three key components of your car that you want to make sure are running properly before you head out on a major car trip, because we expect close to 500,000 people are going to be calling us for emergency roadside service over the 4th of July holiday period. You don't want to be one of those people. I mean, it's great if you are a AAA member and you need us and we're there for you. But if it's something you can prevent, a preventable breakdown, try and address it now before you hop on the road and, potentially wreck a really nice vacation.
Yeah, and if you don't have an engine, you can't do what the Flintstones did, which is use your feet. I mean, the cars are just way too heavy for that. How do people can go to a AAA qualified mechanic to look at their car? I imagine they could just do like a 14-point service, right? To check all the fluids and the oil and all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah, a lot of it is routine maintenance. I mean, it's like your car. I mean, internal combustion engines are very complicated. Think of it almost like a Swiss watch. There's a lot going on in there. So maintaining your car properly is just a lot of peace of mind. You don't want to be, heading out on a road trip with everybody packed into your car and back of your mind, you're worried, is something going to go wrong with my car on this trip? No, try and get it addressed now, particularly your tires. Those are the four most important parts of your car, really, because they're the only part of your car that touches the road. So having really properly maintained tires and properly inflated tires are much safer, and properly inflated tires will help your wallet because your car will be much more fuel efficient.
Andrew, let's talk about safety for a moment. And you and I have talked about National Transportation and Safety Administration's, Highway Safety Traffic Administration's statistics. Those accidents, mistakes really going up. People need to have their hands on the steering wheel. I think it was 9 and 3. Didn't it used to be
9 and 3? Yeah, it used to be 10 and 2.
But now
yeah,
it's 9
but we've,
our
our AAA driver trainers have realized that, the old-fashioned 10 and 2, that was sort of when you had those great big old steering wheels, and you didn't have power steering. 9 and 3 is a much better position now. So we're telling people 9 and 3. It doesn't sound as sexy as 10 and 2, but 9 and 3 is where you should have your hands now.
And keep your hands off the phone. You can use it for music. You can use it to find directions, but really probably want to keep that to the side. And in a lot of states and municipalities, that's a lawbreaker.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, and phone distraction is a real problem. And if you're driving, your focus should be on the road and on the task of driving. And if you have a passenger, your passenger can be the designated reading you of a text or keeping an eye on the phone or looking at the phone for, directions. You should be focused on the road.
Yeah. Last question, Andrew. Parts of the country are facing ginormous heat waves. I know here in Charlotte, it's over 90 degrees, probably expected to be that way over the July 4th holiday. Keep in mind, if you've got small little ones, you're taking a pet, right? You got to be careful. Don't let them sit in the car too long. And use that air conditioning. Most cars these days have air conditioners.
That's true. Yeah, that's certainly true. And, we have gotten a lot of requests from people who asked us with these high gas prices, does it make more sense for me to drive without my AC on? Will I get more gas mileage? And if you have a car, a more modern car, say it's 10 years or newer, cars are so much more efficient now. The AC systems are much more sophisticated. So you're not really going to save much money by not having the air conditioning on. Plus, if you're driving at highway speeds and you got your windows down, you're just creating a lot of drag. So in fact, you're just costing yourself money. So roll the windows up if you're at highway speeds, have the AC on, be comfortable, because when it gets hot, you can also be a little drowsy too. And when you park, get the kids out of the car. And if you have a pet, get your pet out of the car because cars can get hot really fast. It only takes a few minutes for a pet to overheat in a car. Because remember, like a little dog, they don't sweat, they pant and they can't really tell you when they're in distress. So take Fido with you.
Yeah, Fido, Garfield, whatever the Grover.
Exactly. Don't leave your pet behind. They're family members.
They are.
They go where you
Our cats are watching me right now. Andrew Gross, always a pleasure chatting with you. Happy Independence Day. Thanks so much for stopping by. And we look forward to having you back on the program again very soon, my friend.
Thank you very much, Jeffrey.
That wraps up this episode of BRN AM. Have a topic of interest, someone you think we should talk to, Drop us a line, and don't forget, for all the latest curated news and lifestyle, wellness, finance, tech, so much more all in one place, check out today's edition of our daily newsletter, The Morning Pulse. Want to search our archives, check out our latest content? We'll visit our website and, of course, our streaming partners. We're back again tomorrow for a look back at some of our best segments of the week on BRN Weekly. Until then, I'm Jeff Snyder. Stay safe, keep on saving, and don't forget, roll with the changes.
But if you're tired of the same old...
Now is your opportunity to co-create content around any topic on the first lifestyle and wellness network. Reach a global audience through our platform and co-own exclusive branded content. All of our programs are available on demand and also as audio-only podcasts, so you can take us on the go. Broadcast Retirement Network, available anytime, anywhere, and on any device.
Are you being audited and do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? Is the IRS threatening to take more of your money? Don't fight the IRS alone. The Tax Doctor is here to help you negotiate your tax bill and reduce your stress. The IRS can freeze your assets and seize your bank accounts, but you can stop these IRS actions. The Tax Doctor will work with you using our years of experience to represent your case to help you get the best resolution under the IRS guidelines. Help is here to deal with the IRS to reduce your stress. We've handled thousands of cases, so we know what we're doing. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, do not call the IRS alone. Call a Tax Doctor now for a tax emergency analysis.
Call 800-224-6439.